All right, 3 o'clock. Sell me this pen. So I want to sell you something, and it is how much I trust Holmes with the draft that I would actually support the following. So we know it's silly season. We know the mock drafts are everywhere. But I've seen a couple that have come out in recent days where a certain player was available to the Detroit Lions at 29, and they passed on him. And I said, wait a minute. No. I actually would advocate taking this player. And it's not a need, because we all know Brad Holmes has said, I don't draft for need. I take the best available player. And I thought about in recent days things that have happened with the Lions, that Josh Reynolds is gone and that Brock Wright will be leaving most likely, correct? Unless they've done some unforeseen match to the San Francisco 49ers. By the way, congrats on Brock Wright. You'll have a ton of fun together. But here's my point. The player at 29 that is available to the Lions that I would actually support Brad Holmes taking is none other than tight end out of Georgia, Brock Bowers. Now, work with me on this before you go, oh, my God, you can't take it to... Why? First and foremost, do you have a wideout 3? No. Second of all, have we seen teams using multiple tight ends that are high end? Eagles with Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert. Before becoming a serial killer, Patriots with Aaron Hernandez and Rob Gronkowski. Oh, we've seen it. Brock Bowers is far more split out from the formation than tight to the formation. And if I give Ben Johnson, Bowers, and Laporta, I give Jared Goff, Amon-Ra, J-Mo, Bowers, Laporta, Gibbs, Montgomery, elite O-line. Why can't they? Don't the Lions run 2 personnel? Don't they use multiple tight ends? Hey, look, it's Ralph Zylstra. Hey, look, Brock Wright. Hey, look, Sam Mitchell. Wait, that was the coach of the T-Wolves. Whatever, the kid from Toledo.
Yeah, we don't have to do the whole I'm eligible. You know what? We don't have to play games. We just got 2 tight ends.
But this shows you how much I trust Brad Holmes. That if they took a tight end at 29, now Bowers is not a tight end. He's a weapon. Just like Kyle Pitts wasn't a tight end, he's a weapon. That while it's not a need, or while I don't think it's the best thing they could do, if Brad Holmes did it, I'd support it. So my question is, am I a Brad bot as it relates to the draft? Is that an insanely stupid idea? That if Brock Bowers is there at 29, I'm taking him. I think he's fabulous.
No, I don't think you're a Brad bot. As a matter of fact, it's one of those where you shouldn't get it. You shouldn't really get invested in a player because chances are that player won't go to your team.
Correct.
But every year there is some guy who just falls and there's no answer. But if Brock Bowers is sitting there at 29, I would say I would run up to the podium and make the pick. But I would have to do my due diligence and make sure, did this man just murder somebody? Did he just do something stupid that I don't know about?
He shows up like Lieutenant Dan.
Right. Did something happen? Why is he still here? Because I'm about to make the phone call.
Right.
And in the next 2 minutes, if nobody convinces me not to, he's going to be a Lion.
But think about it. I am sitting here saying that Brad Holmes could take a tight end at 29, and I wouldn't blink.
Well, I said take a wide receiver, especially with the new rules.
No issue.
Make your strength stronger. You can't tackle anybody anymore. You can't go high. You can't go low. You can't go at the knees. It's pass interference like 50% of the time. Yes, you already improved your O-line. Adding another target for Jared Goff will only make this team better. You were one of the top offenses, and you upgrade.
Who do you double? You
can't.
Who are you going to take away? Look, guys, I'm not telling you it's number 1 on my list. I'm saying that if these mock drafts, in any way, shape, or form, are communicating that a player like Bowers is falling. By the way, do you know where Bowers ended up in these mocks?
Where?
Kansas City.
So the Lions passed on him.
Uh-huh. I'm saying I trust Brad Holmes enough that if he went with this, look, They have them taking Kool-Aid McKinstry at 29. Also wouldn't have an issue. I'm making a point to you that while other GMs would do it, I think you could criticize it. I would feel a trust in Brad Holmes. Hey, he deems this player to be a top 15 talent. We're going to take him. We're going to hand him to Ben Johnson. Figure it out. Because I tell you right now.
Well, I'll just put it like this. In your scenario, I think it's great. If he passed, I would seriously be like, why? Because you get an opportunity, as you stated, to run 2 tight ends, go out with your 2 receivers, to go with your 2 running backs, to go with your elite offensive line. Okay, you maybe won't be able to put Browers in as a blocking tight end, but Laporta can do that. He did it all season long. This, to me, would be a no-brainer. Now, it's unconventional because nobody's thinking tight end because you have Laporta. It just means that there's now going to be opportunity for both guys, and it may be games where Laporta has 7 catches, and then the next game, Brock Bowers has 7 catches. You just pick your poison. So, no, I'm all for this. If he's there, you take him. If he passes, now I got some issues.
No, I wanted to ask. Because, again, there's very little they could do at 29 where I would say, Brad, what are you doing? If he took a running back, if he took a quarterback, that's really about it. Anything else, I would go, all right, he thinks this is the best guy. We'll figure it out. And look, I know the Lions run a ton of 3 wide out. I know that it wouldn't be optimal. I guess I'm asking you to tell me what your level of trust is in Brad Holmes. In a matter of 3 weeks, when the Lions step to the podium and make that pick at 29, it would take a lot for me to not like it. And these mocks where Bowers is available, I go, well, maybe this is the line you draw in the sand. Like, wait, I'm okay taking a tight end? Now, I've already said it. He could be your 3rd wide receiver. He operates away from the formation. He runs wide receiver routes. He's different than Sam Laporta. Not that Laporta's not a great receiver. No, it's that Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez were different. Not only did one not kill people, but the one was a better vertical threat and one was a better contested catch guy, better blocker, better inline tight end.
Right. For the old heads out there, kind of a Tony Gonzalez type.
Yes. Yeah. I just would love to know where you guys are at with it. 248-539-9797. Now, before we get to the callers, go ahead. David, Kenny, I'll be your pinata. Am I out of my mind?
I don't think you're being a Brad bot. I think that's off the table a little bit. I think primarily because he actually has a little bit of a resume now drafting players. If that is who he assesses as best player available, you're right. Unless he does something absolutely loony, I think you just got to say, you know what? The guy's doing it right. And by the way, that makes your offense look absolutely terrifying, especially when you factor in the run game on top of it.
And isn't this an offensive league?
Yes, absolutely. It's no longer you win by defense. It's you win by offense.
And do people have some reservations about Jared Goff paying their quarterback? Okay. Well, how do you take those reservations away? You continue to insulate. Listen, Rico's point about taking a wide receiver at 29, I've never argued it. If Brad Holmes thinks the best player to take there, if the best guy on the board is a wideout, then he's going to take him. I wouldn't be mad because Josh Reynolds is gone. Mm-hmm. And Brock Wright will be gone, which means you're one injury away from putting a garbage can at tight end. So it's this idea that Brock Bowers, to me, is one of the half a dozen difference makers that are available in the first round. Oh, there'll be 7 or 8 wide receivers that go. I think 2 of them will work out. Maybe 3. Like, there are just not a ton of offensive difference makers. Not a good player, a great one.
So you're saying 2 would be great.
Yeah, like Marvin Harrison and maybe Rome Odunze or Malik Neighbors.
Okay, because I was about to say, I can see a couple of guys being a number 2 receiver going to a place.
But let's say there's a half a dozen guys that'll go in this first round where you go, okay, that guy's a problem. Right? Now, you don't draft them and they turn into Hollywood Brown, where you're like, whatever.
Right.
248-539-9797. David, you've been awfully quiet. Go ahead. Don't be smiling at me. Just talk.
It's the idea I love, the name I love. What I have to do is get out of the mindset of thinking, well, they already have a guy. And it's I know it doesn't matter, but it's tough sometimes when they already got a corner or they already got this. And this is perfect, though. If he's there, he's
but see, David,
maybe the best player in the draft.
That's the one thing I used to love about your Steelers. They had defensive players and just said, you know what, we got great linebacking core. We're going to take a linebacker.
Add another one.
Wait, but you already got 4. I know, we're not going to have 5. So we're going to take a linebacker with the first.
And this would help every Detroit Lions fan that says, well, Jared Goff can't throw it deep. Okay, fine. Now he has 2 tight ends, St. Brown and Jamison Williams, who'll throw every so often deep.
He doesn't even need to throw it deep.
He does it.
You also can throw it to Jameer Gibbs.
There you go.
Or
I like the idea.
Right. That's like, yeah, if he's there, man, I need 2 minutes for somebody to do a quick Google search. What did this man do last night? Is he in a bong mask? What happened? Check the police reports. Check every place. I need to know.
I know. It happens every year, though, doesn't it?
Right.
Somebody falls in the draft, and you go, well, why?
Somebody goes too high. Somebody falls way too low. And, yeah, but if that's the case and he's there after 2 minutes, I think Detroit will be happy because, yeah, you don't have to even play the little shell game with your offensive tackle. And here's Skipper, and you don't have to do that. Guess what? He's going to be 10 times better. No trick plays. We're just going to tell you.
And I
these
understand.
are the 2 tight ends you can't cover but one.
Before you call up and yell at me, and I don't have it in front of me, I'm just spitballing, but work with me. I know they're primarily a single back, single tight, 3 wide team. Let's say they do that about 60% of the time. You know what they're doing the other 20, 25%, biggest chunk? They're running 12 personnel.
But see, I think
single back, 2 tight end.
But see, I think Ben Johnson would evolve. If he had that, he would come up with new offensive plays, with new schemes and new systems saying, I never thought that I would have 2 good tight ends.
Right.
So guess what I'm doing this summer? I'm throwing out the playbook and coming up with a brand new one.
And I'll tell you this, if you run 21, 22, 23% of your sets running 12 personnel, you're going to be right in that top 10 range in the NFL in usage. So if I'm top 10 using 2 tight ends in the league, and one of my tight ends is walking out the door to San Francisco, and this guy is not, there's no redundancy here. He is a different player than Sam Laporta. Does that make me a Brad bot or a visionary, if you will? I'm kidding about the last part. I just wanted to have a conversation.
I say it would make you damn lucky if he's there.
248-539-9797. Rico.